Okay, now I put these three capacitors, C6, C7 and C8. Pretty straightforward. Show you the direction. Now we're going to move on to step number 9. It's the potentiomet. So these are pretty simple VR basically. So they fit right in, they click in it. So it should give you any problems really. Okay, so on the step number 9, just putting the VR in place. So this is basically very simple. You just snap it in and then soldering. So this is basically like soldering plumbers. You just put the iron on the lead there and let it heat a bit there. Don't add soldering right away if you guys not really used with soldering, and then just slowly adding the leads and let them flow all the way through the boards. So put some heat, doesn't have to put the soldering right away, let them heat a bit and then slowly add the leads and let the lead goes away, so that this is going to give you a nice soldering without any bubbles or miss. I'm going to move on. So I'm putting the iron before, let him heat a bit, and then just add a little bit of soldering. Okay, that's done for the VR. Just checking my soldering, so everything looks fine. So this is it for step number 9. Now step number 10, it's the jumper header. This is, well, basically very simple. Again, there's no direction. You just put the jumpers in place and then you're soldering. Very simple. So am I gonna do that one by one there? So I'm gonna do there. I'm just gonna put the jumpers, put the board upside down, and I'm just gonna tack one side of the jumpers with the soldering, and I'm gonna look the position. You know, I really want to make sure that they're in nice tight position. That's okay. I'm gonna put the other row. Same thing again there. I'm just gonna put soldering one side of the headers. I'm gonna check there again, see if they're in the place. Close with number 3. Put the board upside down. See, this one is kind of bent. I don't like it, so I'm just gonna put some heat. This is nice. So I got the jumpers in place. So now I'm just gonna start solderings on the back. These 3 jumpers set. Okay, so the jumper headers are in place. This was step number 10. So these 3 headers, I'm gonna close up to the board. So that's going to give you a look where I'm at right now. I'm assembling the boards. So these 3 jumpers were step number 10. Step number 11 is the DB25 connectors. DB25 connectors, put them on the board. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't really know right now this is the way I'm going to use it, because I'm planning to put the boards on a casing with the power supplies, and I might just hook it up, the DB25 connectors, with some wires to the board. So this is only the reason why I'm not going to do step 11. I don't know yet. Maybe I'm just going to finish by ending up soldering directly to the board. So if you guys wants to do that directly to the boards, I do recommend it to do exactly what the ABCNC says. But for me right now, step number 11, I'm just going to bypass this and go directly to step number 12. These are putting the terminal block. So basically very straightforward. You got the terminal blocks, you just put them in and then soldering, bottom line. And you got like 3 of those, 3 of the big one, and there's 2 other, the small one for the voltage. So I'm just gonna move on. Same technique again there. I'm just gonna put it upside down. I'm gonna soldering only one side of the connectors. And I'm gonna turn it. Just look on the board if I like the way it is. It's pretty good. And then I'm gonna turn it back and just finishing soldering these connectors. Double check, and you always double check, you know what, doesn't cost you much. So there we go. So I'm just gonna move on and do the others. Okay, so there it is. TB1, TB2, 3 and TB4s are installed. If you notice, very important that you guys put the all of the connectors facing out of the board, so that way wires will go directly in this direction. And same for this one, it's easier. That was step number 12. Now step number 13, it is installing the TB5 and the TB6. These one also needs, there's a direction to put them, so the hole has to be facing the direction of the plus and the minus. So very straightforward. These things will be easy to install. Same method as the other one. So I'm gonna put those 2 together. Okay, so these are all the connectors are installed. The next step right now is number 14. Sorry, it's installing the LM. There's 2 kind of LM. One is 317 and the other one it's 317 AHV. So right now we're going to work on U5. Very important that it's going to be the HV, not the 317. So on U5. There's a direction also, as you guys can see on the board. There's the white line there, so the LM has to be facing this direction. You see there's a side for this, so white side, this direction. There again, you just put them in place, and you can probably just like I did before, bend the lead a bit on the back, so make sure that the thing doesn't go anywhere else. And then you can move on if you want to do these 2 at the same time to the step number 15 is the other LM317. You can just like put them in place. The same way as this one, still not soldering, just put them inside. Stick your finger there and just bend the lead on the back just a bit, not too much, just a bit, to make sure they won't move out. So that way you can turn the board on the back and start soldering these 2 LM. These are U5 and U4. Okay, so move on. Right now these 2 LMs are installed. So I'm moving to step 16. These are the 2 big capacitors on the board. They look as the same as the C6, C7 and C8. They're C9 and C10. They have 1 long lead, 1 short lead. Same things. The long lead has to go in the positive side on the boards. You just put things in there, and you can bend the lead like I did before again, and this thing will stick in its place. And you can put the other one. This is C10, the longer lead in the positive side. Oh, this one is pretty tight, going to on between. Just bend the lead a bit so it's stick in place, and now you can put the board on the bottom and just start soldering these 2. This is gonna be step number 16. So now I'm just gonna cut the excess lead there. Okay, so that was step number 16. So now the next step right now, probably the things left is to putting the driver chip. But before putting the driver chips, I do recommend you guys double check all your soldering on the back. You can clean all the excess of flux, because when you guys soldering, there's a lot of flux in between. So that could be due with you can use an old brush tooth and some alcohol or anything just to go in between. Make sure you remove all the excess of flux, and it cleans the boards. You can check on the other side also, inspect with your eyes. It's always good things to inspect to make sure you did right. So on the next step there, I'm going to show you there's a calibration for the 5 volt before you put the driver on. So I'm not going to soldering the drivers before I did this test. So I'm going to next video, I'm just going to show you how to do this test. So you guys gonna need your power supplies to be able to hook it up to the boards, and our friends, the multimeters, to check the voltage on the boards. So next steps. Okay, I'm almost done for assembling the boards. Just before putting the driver's chip, there's some things that need to be checked. Is the 5 volt, just to make sure that you guys did everything was right. So basically, it's pretty simple. What it is, we need to apply at least 12 volt to the boards and to go with the multimeters and check. So basically, I'm going to use a small power supply here for my CB. So this is 12 volts. So I'm just going to add the positive lead there. Add the negative lead, and we're going to check if I got 5 volts. Okay, I'm going to put the multimeters. Okay, double check all my wires. I notice that the yellow colors of these wires, but this is to be the ground. So okay, let me check. Make sure there's nothing under this board before I put the power in. Always double check. Not a bad idea. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we got powers. So you put the negative lead to the negative lead, and then you go to, there's a dot there for 5 volt DC for test point. So I got 5.04, so I guess I'm good with my 5 volt. So after testing this, you can move on and finish the assembling of the boards and installing the drivers, and the board should be done.